Hey guys, back here with another video. And before I go ahead and get started into this video, I just want to make this very clear that this video is spoiler free. So to anyone that's watching this video that hasn't played the game yet, do not fear, I will not have any spoilers in this video so then I don't spoil it for someone. But I just want to make that very clear before I get into the video. But uh I beat the game, well, most of it so far, but I beat the main story just 2 days ago, and I meant to do this video 2 days ago, but I've had delays, and I decided to wait until today, just to process my thoughts on the game, because beaten, I haven't beaten everything yet, so this isn't going to be like a full-on review of it, more of my first impressions, especially on like the main story, because I have a few things left to do in the game. I gotta get like 2 or 3 tech parts that are in the game, and then there's a few side missions I gotta do, but I pretty much done mostly everything in the game. And I gotta say, especially after beating the main story, this game is just honestly absolutely amazing. It's so good. Like, honestly, it's hard for me to say if this game is better than the previous game, the original PS4 game that came out 2 years ago, because I thought the previous game was such a great game. It had a lot of heart and a lot of energy, especially into the story, and there was just such great care into making that game, and I feel that same passion into this game because I feel like everyone at Insomniac did such an amazing job with the game. Brian Horton, like everyone, I think did an amazing job. The visuals, and I should note, I played this game on PS4 because I sadly do not own a PS5 since they were all sold out in my era, so I had no choice but to play this on PS4. But even on PS4, I thought the game was just an absolute joy to play, and I was really into the game and felt really engaged pretty much the entire time, well, especially in the main story, which is just it was just awesome playing this game. And without getting into spoiler territory, there was awesome stuff like the prowlers in the game. I mean, that's not really a spoiler because everyone all knows that prowler's going to be in the game, but I won't say anything about him in this video because I'd be going to spoiler territory by going certain things. But I thought prowler was a very good in this game. I really enjoyed his interpretation. I really enjoyed this interpretation of the character. I thought it felt kind of different than the interpretation of Prowler that we got from 2018's Into the Spider-Verse, which was such an amazing movie, by the way. Love that movie, and I loved that movie's interpretation of Prowler. And I thought this game did a really good job of this interpretation of Prowler, and I really liked how he was portrayed in this interpretation of Spider-Man. I thought they did a really good job with him, and I thought the voice actor for him was also very good. And speaking of like Prowler, the music in this game is just it's honestly very good. It's like it's hard for me to say if it's better than the music in the PS4 game because I absolutely love the score in Spider-Man PS4, but the music in this game is honestly so good, and I feel so engaged to the music in this game because it has it has a very interesting and a very cool style to it, especially since it fits with the character of Miles Morales, since he seems to be interested in music a lot, as we see in this game and also in Into the Spider-Verse. And I really, oh my gosh, like I can't stop talking enough about the music in this game. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's, in my personal opinion, I think the music in this game is an absolute masterpiece. I love it. And I love the songs that are in the game, especially the song I'm Ready. I was just listening to that before doing this recording because I've been listening to it earlier, and oh man, it's such a great song. I absolutely love that song. It just it's an absolute joy to listen to. It's a masterpiece. But hey, that's just my personal opinion. But music's very good. The characters are also very good as well. I'm still not sure, as you guys already know, they changed the face model for Peter for this game to better like fit the visual, to better fit the graphics that the PS5 can uphold or something along those lines. I don't necessarily remember the details for the face change on the top of my head, but I'm still, I'm still not sure how I feel about the new um face replacement because I'm more used to John Bugniak's face for Peter, but it may take some time for me to get into the new face. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's. I mean, I don't know if I would say it's necessarily bad or anything, but it's just. It's honestly, I'm not sure it's really the same to me, but hopefully it'll grow on me over time and I can understand the reason why they did the face change, but I'm still not sure what to think of it, but it didn't bug me so much because, I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but Peter's not in the game a whole lot. Well, obviously, because the game is focused on Miles, but the Peter, I thought they did a good job with this character, even though he wasn't in the game that much. But Miles in this game, I thought was just, I think the actor did a really good job with him, and I really liked this portrayal of Miles Morales. It reminds me of Miles from the Into the Spider-Verse film, where he does some things on his own without the help of Peter. I mean, I won't get into any specifics because I don't want to give away any certain details, but I think Insomniac did a really good job crafting their own interpretation of Miles Morales because I think this is, at least in my personal opinion, I think this is easily one of the best interpretations of the character because I know some people aren't really a fan of Miles' character from the comic books because of how he can be kind of like Peter, but I felt like, just like with Into the Spider-Verse, I honestly kind of felt like, and I need to go play the game again, but I honestly kind of felt like he was his own, not only his own man, but he was his own Spider-Man and not just a repeat and a copy of Peter, and not just in like the character's writing, but also in like the character's animation. Like when you see him swing, and also like when you see him fight, like it's very different than the animations for Peter are, which I think they did a really good job of in terms of handling Miles' characters, not only in the writing, but even with the animation that they did for Miles. It's not the exact same as Peter, which I really like because I really like how he swings a certain way, which I thought was just perfect and made it feel, like he was his own Spider-Man. And as for like the other characters, Genki was good. Um, Miles Morales' mom was also a good character. The villain, I mean, I don't want to go into details about the villain, but the villain, the Tinkerer, I thought was a pretty good villain. I really enjoyed the Tinkerer. There was something, I won't get into spoilers, but there was something that, if you haven't played the game, there is something that you may not see coming, but I don't want to get into details. But overall, all I'm going to say is that I think they did a good job with the Tinkerer. I thought he was a great villain for a game like this, and I really liked how they handled the villain in this game. And also, Troy Baker is in this game, and I'm a huge fan of Troy Baker, and pretty much a lot of things that he's in, because he's in Last of Us, which is a game that I love so much, and I actually streamed on the channel, and I loved his performance as Joel in that game. And honestly really loved, I honestly really enjoyed Troy Baker's character that's in this game, Simon Krieger, if I recall correctly. I really enjoyed Troy's performance in that character, and I thought honestly all the characters, even like J. Jonah Jameson, was, he was very comical and funny to listen to. I really liked the characters in the game. They didn't really bore me as much, really. They didn't really bore me at all, for that matter, because the characters are just that enjoyable to me because of how enjoyable the game is. But overall, I think the characters are very. I think they did a good job with the characters, especially Miles Morales, and even like the villain, and to those that have played the game, you may know what I'm talking about in terms of there being a surprise with the villain, but I'm not gonna say. But overall, the characters are good. The story is also a very good story. I thought, you know, as I probably said earlier, it's a very good story, and yeah, I think that's all I have to really say. I mean, if I had to give the game a rating out of 10, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to say. I mean, I'm going to go play the game again, but if I were to give the game a rating, I would give it like about cuz it's hard for me to rate it, but I'd say like somewhere between at least a solid 9 to a 10 out of 10 cuz the game is honestly just that good, and I would say it's probably my favorite game that has come out this year because I think Insomniac and Marvel really nailed it with this game and also with the character of Miles Morales and really understood his character and, made him his own Spider-Man. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say in this first impressions video. I mean, I may do a proper like full review of the game because I would like to talk about spoilers, to talk about certain things in the game, and maybe, I mean, I don't know if the guys would be available, but if the guys were, the guys from the Spider Squad, of course, if they were able to, if they were available, I would love to somehow get in a spoiler cast with them because honestly, I could talk about the game right now with them in like a spoiler cast or whatever if that was even possible, of course, because, we're all busy with their own individual lives and that type of stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much my first impressions for the game. I may do a spoiler review or podcast or whatever. I gotta figure things out if I'm able to, of course. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to let me know what you think of the game in the comment section down below. And I hope you all have a good night or good day, depending on what time you're watching this. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.